Hello friends, how are you this morning? I hope you're doing well. Today we are going to do a little Bible study once again, and we are going to talk about the story of Sodom and Gomorrah. We are going to talk about the story of Sodom and Gomorrah and how that relates to the modern day players of the dark world. Okay, so if you are not familiar with the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, it takes place in Genesis, which is the first verse of the first verse, which is the first chapter of the Christian Bible. So we don't even get too far into the first chapter before the fall of man, where God banishes Adam and Eve from the garden. We don't get that much further into the first chapter before God wants to destroy something once again, like he dusted the dinosaurs, and that happens to be the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah. The word sodomy comes from Sodom, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. So basically, God gets very, very frustrated with these two cities because they're disgusting. They're kind of like the modern day version would be Hollywood and the government, the politics, in the world politics, not just the state, but like the politicians of the world and the Hollywood media. They are Sodom and Gomorrah. Just put that into your mind. And so everybody there is absolutely disgusting, depraved, ignorant, sexually perverse, corrupt, and evil. And so God's like, I'm going to dust this entire city, both of them, and he sends some angels to the house of one of his chosen, who happens to be a man named Lot. And these two angels come to stay with Lot and his family for the night to warn them that Sodom and Gomorrah are about to be destroyed and to tell them to get their families out and to leave the city. Now, when the evil men of Sodom and Gomorrah find out that there are visitors and that they are at Lot's house, they go to his house in a crew, like a militia, a group of them, go to his house, knock on Lot's door, and demand that he bring them the visitors so they can have sex with them. This is grown men going to the door of another grown man, asking him to go get two grown human being males that they believe to be angels of God to come outside so they can sexually assault them. That is the behavior that was going on in Sodom and Gomorrah. That's the behavior that goes on in Hollywood today. And Lot, oddly enough, says these people are very special. Take my daughters instead. That sounds like people trying to sell their kids to the industry, honestly. And the guys are like, no, that's not good enough. We want the men. We want the men, and we want to have sex with them. Look at it's 19 verse 5. And this is not a homosexual act. This is not as an act of sexual nature at all. This is an act of aggression and debauchery and depravity. They just want to do the most ignorant, just degrading thing to these visitors who they believe to be angels of mercy from the Lord. That is the kind of energy that these people hold in their hearts. They're absolutely out of their minds. And these types of people still exist. And they do exist, well, they subsist at a lower level, even though they have a bunch of money, in a world that is an underworld that they believe to be higher than everybody else because of what they have. And it's absolutely insane that this trope still carries on. And when I tell you, like, when you find out the behavior of what these people have done, it's that ignorant. It's as ignorant as going to a grown man's house and asking him to bring his visitors out so you can rape them. It's just like the mindset of these people was so bad that the Lord, the maker of this simulation, removed the entire cities, 2 entire cities from the game. And famously, the story of Lot's wife is he tells them to leave and not look back. She looks back and she turns into a pillar of salt. And I've mentioned before, that is the most prolific, that was, when I was in Hebrew school, the most prolific story of the Bible. The part where the men demanded these angels so that they could have, just so they could violate them, is absolutely ridiculous. But that's the mindset of these men and women who exist in like this Sodom and Gomorrah sort of energy in Hollywood, in the business, in media, in politics. That's their mindset. It's just, we want to destroy whatever it is. We want to violate it. We want to humiliate it. We want to diminish it in a way that's like asserting our dominance over whatever it is. And it's really kind of psychotic. And then the fact that Job would even have to offer his daughter is even more psychotic. But if you read the Bible, you'll see, like, it made me feel look sideways at the maker of this place, because the kind of stuff that he thought that is okay is absolutely obscene. And the fact that these people still sort of exist, like, he destroyed that city, but that energy was not destroyed. And it continued to fester and it continued to grow. It's a quagmire. It's a quagmire, and the whole thing is kind of insane. But the most interesting part is that it is a clue from the past as to what the present operates like, the framework of the current operating framework of the present, and hopefully gives you some clues into how different the future will be once these people have been stripped of their power once and for all. The simulation was, I guess, coded to get worse and worse because it's called the fall of man. So it had to get worse and worse. And everybody's bored. So it has to get better. And that's it. That's it. It's just crazy. The craziest thing is just read the Bible and you'll see just how obscene, perverse, absurd, like the amount of what's it called, incest, and like this offering up of your child for sexual whatever it is, and it's just really, really very strange. This whole place is very, very strange. But if you look at all the clues, you can kind of put it together. Once you just accept that this place is weird and perverse and kind of dark, it doesn't sting so much. It's not so shocking. It's not so bad. It's just the status quo. And once you realize that that's basically the status quo, you get to a point where you want to change that. You don't want to exist in this sort of like downgrade level. And that's what I'm talking about of jumping to the good timeline. Like, you get yourself together. Stop accepting this kind of behavior in your world. And we can all work together to make it a better place. I believe that. I truly do. And that's